Well, hello, Knockout Nation, and Happy New Year, folks. I'm your host, Noel Clubb, here on the Knockout TV show, and welcome to Spanglish Sports World Network on Zingo TV, channel 250. Please remember, download the Zingo TV app from respective iOS and Android app stores, as the app is absolutely free. And while you download, please make sure to rate and leave us a comment because we want to hear from you. That's right, we sure do. And Zingo TV is also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, and Fire TV sticks. Roku and Roku sticks are also available on all smart TVs from 2016 forward, eh? All right, welcome to viewers at home watching Knockout Show around the world. Welcome, and thanks for joining us here today on the show. So let's introduce today's super duper knockout panel, shall we? So first off, he fought for Canada in 3 consecutive Olympic Games. He's a 3-time Olympian, folks. He's fought in Barcelona 92, Atlanta 96, and Sydney in 2000. He's had over 350 fights. Please welcome the one and the only Mike Strange to the show. Welcome,
Thanks for having me,
Mike.
Noel. Thank you.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. We're just a little bit of a blizzard last week and a little bit of snow right now, and watching the Buccaneers play and probably another Tom Brady comeback. We'll see.
Right on, right on. That Tom Brady sure is
My
amazing.
Cowboys are out, so I got to root for somebody else. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I guess Bills are the closest to me right now. So we'll see what happens tonight.
I hear Cowboys are out, which is unfortunate. I'm a fan too, and yeah, so it's kind of a bummer. Yeah, so go Buffalo, go.
There you go.
In this case,
good for our economy in Niagara.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, Mike, great to see you, man.
Great to see
you.
you.
The Buddha there behind you, looking behind you as well. It's always good to
half
see.
a Buddha. My head's too big. Like the other half.
Oh no, it's not. It's all good. It's perfect size. Well, moving on. This amazing little knockout panel today. This humble Canadian boxing treasure held 6 provincial titles. He's an 8-time Canadian champion. He's 1906 bronze medalist in Commonwealth Games, and he's also the quarterfinalist in 1906 World Championships. Please welcome the one and the only Steve Beaupre to the show. Welcome, Steve.
Thanks for having me here. Yeah, it's been good. We got hit by that snow also.
Yeah.
I'm used to it because I'm from Northern Ontario originally. It's the same race, so it was like that like every week.
Yeah, right. And that's for us Ontario folks, more Southern Ontario folks. It's a different story.
Yeah.
We're not used to this kind of stuff at all. So yeah, it's a bit of a shocker for us. So how was your New Year's? What's new with you besides?
Happy New Year's to everybody. Yeah, just kind of quiet. We just went out for supper and came home and just watched the ball drop there in New York City.
Yeah,
On TV, and that was it. So
yeah, get the pass at that point in time, eh? Yeah, that's what I do too. Watch the ball drop and then crash.
Couldn't go out anywhere, so you have to do
yeah,
something.
that's true, right? We're in lockdown basically over here in Ontario. Yeah, very true. Let's make the best of it, as we always do. Make the best of things under these unprecedented times we live in. That's for sure. But Steve, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for joining us here on the show again today. Thank you.
Yeah.
And next up, this amazing boxing panel. He's a former CPBC Canadian heavyweight champion with a total of 19 bouts and 8 KOs. He's also an actor, by the way, folks. He starred in movies such as Phantom Punch, Resident Evil movies such as Afterlife and Retribution. And we love him here on the show, of course. Please welcome Raymond, Big Ray. Olubowale. Welcome, sir. How you doing?
All's well. How are you guys doing?
Very good. Good to see you, man. So what's new with you? What's happened with you?
Well, obviously the year started off with a rocky start.
Yeah.
No pun intended, but truth be told, outside of that, things are going actually rather well. Still have fantasies of actually fighting for a world strap, that is. What you call it? Something that I would be interested to hear what your opinion is on the WBC and the CPBC decision to create that new division called the Bridgeweight.
That'd be fantastic.
Which is, for those who don't know, heavyweight used to be anything over 200 pounds.
Yeah.
But now in the day of the gorilla, you have like Tyson Fury 6'9". He can blow up to 270. Well, actually, he can blow up to 400, but like he's competed at like 270, 260.
Right.
You have some genuine like gorilla. Well, I guess I could be lumped into that scenario too.
Well, you're a big guy yourself.
Fought most of my career between 260 and 276 at 6'7". How is it fair for guys who are 6'3" struggling to make 220?
Yeah.
So they ended up concocting a new division for the little guys and called it the bridgeweight, and it's under 230. Now, this creates an interesting conundrum because from the heavyweight division, from the scene, the WBC has now crowned a world champion at bridgeweight, which is Oscar Rivas from Montreal. Now, we all know about Usyk,
right,
being the heavyweight. Well, you wouldn't call him the lineal. He's not the lineal champion, but he has 4 belts.
Yeah, it's 4 belts, exactly.
Right. In those divisions in those sanctioning bodies that don't have the bridgeweight, he wants to unify it. He wants to be undisputed. I don't know if he's allowed to fight Fury. The heaviest he's been is 220.
Right.
At WBC, he'd have to fight Oscar Rivas, who's not a heavyweight by WBC standards.
Yeah. Very interesting dilemma there, for sure.
That's a little dilemma, but more importantly, what do you think about the creation of the division?
Actually, I like the idea. If they can kind of modify a little bit more, but I do like the idea. Yeah.
You know what? And it's not a bad idea, and it can work both ways. Because I mentioned a couple times in the show when Michael Spinks moved up in weight, and he had to put like weights on him. He just made 201 or 200.
Right.
So by the time he was out of the ring, probably at 195. But you get a little fast guy like that, and Holmes can't catch him. You know what I mean? So it can work both ways. You saw, even when De La Hoya moved down and was struggling to make weight, and then you got a guy like Pacquiao moving up. And Pacquiao's like and just smashing him, and he, like, De La Hoya cannot catch him.
Yeah.
So it could work both ways. But then you get a giant like Tyson Fury, who's
going to lay on him.
Yeah. And the same thing with Roy Jones when he went up and fought Ruiz. Like, he played with Ruiz, but I think, to be fair, like, they should have to make that weight. You know what I mean? So if you're so the heavyweight is 220, you have to be at least 220. You can't fight at 208 now, right?
Yeah.
Or 210 or whatever it is, or 201.
Yeah.
And it can work both ways. You know what I mean? So you get a little light guy that's 175. He puts weights in his boots or whatever, and he's 200. It just makes 201. Now he's fighting whatever bridgeweight or whatever. But he, once he gets to the ring, he's only 180. That could be a big advantage for either way. When you get the fast guy, you can't touch him because he's so quick, and a heavyweight's not used to that. Where if he catches him, it's not fair that way either, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The weight difference.
If catches him in trouble.
Yeah,
sure. But yeah, actually, I like the idea.
I agree with it because the heavyweights are so much bigger now.
Yeah, way bigger now. Yeah,
it's not like you're getting a butter bean in there. You're getting a guy who's 6'7", 6'8", who is fit, and he is 260, 270 solid. You know what I mean? Solid guys. You know what I mean? They're not just big fat.
Correct.
Andy Ruiz's or something. You know what I mean? Who are just
they're real athletes.
They're real athletes who have worked their butts off, just like a heavyweight that a Mike Tyson is
on that caliber. Yeah. Agreed. Absolutely agree. So see how that unfolds as time goes on. But I think it's a great idea. Hopefully it doesn't go the wrong direction. But I like the idea.
Well, something like, for me, I saw it as a blessing from the universe, because by trade, I'm a holistic nutritionist. So I've been for going on 10 years, something like that, and I've been really watching my diet and whatnot, And over this pandemic, I was actually able to really reel in and focus on diet and training. For the first time, I'm 51. First time in my career, in my life, like to this degree. I have, like I said, I competed the majority of my professional career between 260 and 276. I walk at 280, 285 and drop down. I am now walking at 238. I can make bridge weight.
Yep.
And then turn around and make heavyweight and be a 2-division champion.
Well, that's thinking right there.
Yeah.
Now that's
over
the Raymond I know.
and being over 50 as well.
Yeah, no
over
kidding.
50.
How tall are you?
Huge, literally, figuratively, huge.
I'm 6'7".
6'7".
Yeah, 6'7". That's right.
So
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
a
now
little
you're
bit
thinking
giddy.
really long and hard, deep on this one.
Oh,
Well, I'll see you come back to the ring, man. Would you love to see that?
Oh, I will. I just I'm waiting for this nonsense to end.
Yeah, like all of us here on the show, and around the world.
Around the world.
Yeah, and around the world. I'd love to be there too with you, man. That'd be pretty cool to see that happen. That'd be very cool. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Well, actually, guys, before we can move on here, on a sad note, I want to touch on a very quick little note here. A sad note and Canadian boxing news. Unfortunately, we lost. Sadly, we lost this past week. Canadian professional boxer Rocky Floriano. We lost him way too early, way too prematurely. So just going to do a quick little customary 10-second count in honor of our fallen boxer, fallen soldier here. It lasted a while, so we're going to take your hats off and put our heads down for 10 seconds and again honor our fallen soldier here of Rocky Floriano for 10 seconds. Yeah, and thanks you guys, and rest in peace, Rocky. Our condolences to the Floriano family for their loss. And yeah, again, we lost a really good one here again. And I just want to say a quick note too. Seen with Mike Strange. Your dad was going to have his birthday, 70th birthday today.
It would have been his 78th. So happy heavenly birthday, Dad.
Happy heavenly birthday to Mike Strange.
And just I'm sure he wouldn't want to be going on with everything that's going on right now.
So true, right?
He'd be going insane right now. So
absolutely.
I'm sure he's having a couple beers watching down on us right now. So celebrating his 78th.
Yeah, right on. Well, cheers to your dad in heaven, sir.
Cheers.
Your dad be very proud of you. I know that for a fact.
Thank you.
One heck of an ambassador for boxing and for Canada, in my opinion. Just a great guy you are, Mike. And same with you, Raymond. Same with you, Steve. Great guys.
Cheers.
All right, cheers. And so moving on to some boxing news here, folks. Some boxing news. We can kind of short, move on to the best of boxing of last year. But first, I want to bring up this Jamar Charlo and Canelo Alvarez story. It's kind of coming back and forth in the news lasted a while. So it looks like it's not confirmed. It's not a done deal yet, but it looks like it'll be a Charlo-Canelo fight, possibly in May 7th of this year on Cinco de Mayo. So I'm going to get you guys your take on this. First off, do you think it's going to happen with Charlo versus Canelo? Or would you guys think it's going to actually happen as more the Macaboo fight, which is the cruiserweight matchup with Canelo? What are your thoughts on this possible Canelo fight with Charlo or with Macaboo? What are your guys' thoughts on this? Let's go around the panel here.
Well, I think I don't think the Charlo fight's going to happen. I think Charlo's a dangerous fighter.
Yeah, I agree. He's dangerous, is right.
And then the other way is like for Alvarez to move up to cruiserweight is a big jump in weight.
It really is.
You know what I mean? And which I don't know. I think both of them are a little bit very dangerous when he can, just cruise on some up and coming and especially on Cinco de Mayo, and he's going to sell out regardless, whoever he fights.
Yeah.
So
correct.
does he want to take a dangerous fight like Charlo or move up and fight, in cruiserweight or a better BF or whatever? I don't know. But for him being 5'9",
great
going up all that weight already when he looks bulky, and you see the transformation over the last 8 years, I guess, from him
Yeah.
fighting Mayweather to Golovkin and going
Yeah.
up. You can see the transformation. So
Yeah, huge transformations, right?
I don't know what natural supplements he's on, but
But they're natural.
Yes, that is.
he's punching like a mule.
That he is. Oh, so true. He is a big, big one-punch knockout puncher. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's punching guys on the side of the arm, and their arms are like, look like they need to operate on them.
Yeah.
Where you saw guys like Hagler, and he was a killer. Hagler, and he never had that. Fighting John Mugabe, and they never did that to each other. And Mugabe was a beast, and it was the beast Mugabe, right?
Right.
You never seen the effects that Mugabe have on fighters like Canelo has now. It's crazy.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Not only that, you didn't see these effects on Canelo's opponents 5 years ago.
No.
Well,
and he
now-
never fought like that. He was never a guy like just one punch. And that was
He's
it.
crushing
It
guys.
was always combinations, and
exactly.
So I'm
Sure
a
you
little
do.
skeptical.
Yeah.
But when you have money behind
You and I
you,
both.
he's probably the best marketable guy out there right now, other than Tyson Fury. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
he is.
he's got a whole team behind him. The fans love him in the States, Mexico, all over, and he's got so much money behind him.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
It is.
You know what I mean? Who's gonna call him out? Even if he was, he tested positive for some kind of steroid, but he said it was in his beef and all this other stuff. But you just
Believe
you
that.
can see the transformation. If you Google it, you know what I mean?
Exactly
And
is right.
a lot of people don't even talk about it because they're just like, okay, I'm going to stay away from this because so much money involved in that particular person in the sport of boxing.
Yeah, so true. I mean, he's been the poster child for our sport for quite a while now, right? He's like, as you
And
said,
a
he's
Mexican
top
too.
dog.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
so-
Well, you right. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm with Mike on a number of things, in the sense that I don't know if the first fight would happen. I don't he's just
with
dangerous.
Charlo.
Charlo's
Yeah,
just
agreed.
he's a bad man.
Definitely.
And more importantly, why? Why would he take that? Why? But I don't know Canelo to ever have ducked anybody.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
can't
So
think
far,
of-
I've not seen that.
Yeah, if somebody was great, he took on what's his face, Kovalev.
Yeah.
I
He's
thought
dangerous.
that was
He is a fighter.
suicide.
Yeah.
I thought that was suicide.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Outside of that, but the notion of him going up to cruiserweight, unless he's going to do what Roy Jones did, touch cruiserweight and turn around, come right back
Go
down.
back down again. Yeah.
I don't see the point. I
agree.
have no idea what's going on through his head.
Well, the only thing I can say is that he probably, if like Ray says, if he just kind of he's on that borderline making the weight, and he fights the right guy at cruiserweight, at least it gives him another world title in a different division where
Correct.
Charlo doesn't really do much for him. You know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah.
Does anyone even know who Charlo is? He's a dangerous guy, and you never even heard of him. Half the people in the world.
Right?
Correct.
Right?
Unless you're a fight fan.
So
yeah.
what's that mean? So fight Charlo and nobody knows him, but he's very dangerous, or move up to cruiserweight, and you don't even have to. You can fight one of the weakest guys there and
Yep.
take it and become a cruiserweight champion
Exactly.
and another stepping stone. And now you're another division world champion, right?
Correct. Yeah.
It also
That's the
needs
same way.
it
chasing for
needs
another
to
belt.
be figured out what's his intentions are in the way of furthering his career. Is he at the, let's call it, twilight of his career, or does he see himself fighting for another 5 years? And if he's seeing himself fight for another 5 years, then going up to the cruiserweight division,
Mhm.
there's some killers up at cruiserweight.
Absolutely.
They're big boys. They're bigger than Kovalev. You can see a 6'3", 6'2", comfortably 6'2" guy at cruiserweight with muscle mass.
That's
that
right.
can actually do some damage to him.
And they're cutting down to fight him too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go on with the charade that he's crystal clean. But honestly, it has to catch up on you.
I see the same way.
If Lomachenko comes up to heavyweight one day, I'm like, okay, then maybe. But come on, like
No, you can't do that.
why doesn't he just go down in weight and fight one of the up and coming new stars there? Dominate that division. Like
He's too big now.
Yeah, he's too big, right?
he can't go back.
Having trouble making weight.
Yeah, I mean, weight issues not going down. Yeah.
Yeah, at 5'9" too.
5'9".
5'9", yeah.
That's right. Not a tall guy, but my guy is wide.
They're not too good. Weight off.
Oh, very true. Very true.
He needs
Very
some holistic nutritionist from
That's
from
what
Ray
he needs.
to help him.
Ray.
That's what
Yeah, we'll give Canelo Raymond's number here.
But the bottom line, I think it's just too much money. They're not going to take any dangerous fight at Cinco de Mayo. It's they'll hype it up. He'll sell out whoever he fights. So I don't think it's going to be a Charlo unless they're giving extra money to Charlo one of the Charlo brothers to take a dive or something. But I think Charlo's very dangerous.
I agree. I totally agree.
And they could pay off a cruiserweight. They have so much. That's the problem right now. So much money involved with his promotional company and everything, right? Like it's just, you could never have him lose on Cinco de Mayo.
Correct.
Yeah.
Too important.
And they wouldn't let it happen.
That's right. Too big.
No.
Yeah, well put there.
Is he fighting under his own banner?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because he left the DAZN deal a while back, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he walked away from that one.
His own promotional company, is it not?
Good for him.
Yeah,
Just like
that's
money.
my understanding. It's his own.
Yeah,
company.
he's got so many fighters under him now, right? So he's building his brand, and that's what's great for him. Like he's going to have more generations of Mexican families that don't have to worry about it for a long, long time. But
That's right.
but that's what it is. That's what it is now. Promoting and promoting yourself and thinking about your future, and that's what Canelo Alvarez is doing right now.
Yeah, agreed. Totally agree, guys. Totally agree. But yeah, I tend to think it'd be probably more of the Makabu fight's going to happen, which is the cruiserweight match is probably going to happen most likely, which I know fight fans don't really want to see, but it's probably will be the situation coming up for the new year for his next fight. That's my prediction there. Well, boys, over on to the best of 2021 in boxing. Woohoo! All right, guys. So first off here, what was your best fight of 2021? What fight kind of grabbed your attention as being the best one, in your opinion?
Well, I think the Fury Wilder 3
number 3, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's so much hype, and Fury, like I said, he's a guy. It's tough to dislike Fury.
Yeah,
probably tough to like Wilder, but it was a perfect matchup. You got Wilder who trained his ass off, and he landed some great shots against Fury too, man. And Fury's so confident, and it was a great fight. It was all around. It was probably one of the fights of the year.
Yeah.
Just everything about it, right?
Yeah. Especially the
trilogy,
fourth round,
being
round,
a trilogy, and and having Fury in trouble,
That's right.
So it was, and then coming back and just
Do you think
it was a great matchup?
Do you think it compares to Ollie Frazier or Ollie Norton?
Yeah, I think my opinion, I would say no in my opinion, but we will have different perspectives on that one. But to me, it's like up there, but not like up there as far as like best matchup.
Well, there's very few trilogies, but yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Well, I'd say the fourth round, fifth round, the Fury Wilder fight, the third one was exciting. Watching the two knockdowns by Wilder in the fourth round, dropping Fury. But at the same time, so you're watching him get dropped, but you're not really concerned about him losing, which is so because I've got kind of the same opinion of like probably be a Fury victory, but it's going to be a tougher fight. And then watch Fury come back, the 2 rounds later and drop Wilder, which was again really exciting stuff, very exciting stuff.
But interested in not in the similarities, but like Ali was best of all time, but
Yes.
Fury tries to act like an Ali, right? Entertaining and that sort of stuff. And that's where everything came from was Ali and marketing. And, you know, he got it from wrestling.
You got it from wrestling, exactly. I was gonna say
I'm so pretty. I'm the best. I'm, you know, and that's, you know, people hated Ali, you know, at the beginning, and then they just learned to love him and everything. And you think about
Louisville Lip.
What he did, you know, with Vietnam and sticking up, you know, for his culture and like just, and people hated him back then. And now you look at it, he did everything right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
So true. Which you can look back now and people don't know the struggles that he went through with everything and him. People, you know, when he fought Sonny Liston the first time, he was an 8-1 underdog. Like people hated Ali.
Yeah.
No, but you know that in that story, in that fight, one of the reasons that made Ali so, like, not even like global, he's galactic after that fight.
Yeah.
One,
the world knows him.
Sonny Liston was the baddest man living.
Mm-hmm.
To the point that something that a lot of people didn't know, that I don't remember who was the president at the time, but the president of the United States asked, sorry, it wasn't that fight. It was when Sonny Liston fought
George Foreman, maybe.
No, who he beat for the title, Patterson.
Oh, going earlier, right.
When he got the fight against Patterson, the president of the United States asked Patterson not to fight him because he was such a bad man. He didn't even want to give him an opportunity. Not just like a bad man from the standpoint of boxing, but he was so tied in with the mob and all sorts of corrupt shit.
Right.
Now with that, to the point where the president of the United States celebrated when he lost to Ali. Ali, like, catapulted to
world status,
the greatest person on God's green earth.
Yeah.
He vanquished the world from having that person. Sonny Liston, as far as I'm concerned, Sonny Liston was just a misunderstood individual. Yeah, he did some bad things, but like he still was. He was a great guy. He was a great champion. I can't say he was a great guy. I didn't know him.
Right.
People that I do know that knew him said that he was a great guy, tough as nails. He had a temper if you crossed it, like almost anybody else. But to the point where he was demonized, like he won the world title, and there was no fanfare, when he landed in Philadelphia in the like no one was there. People don't talk. Well, that city called Philadelphia rubs me wrong constantly because of the fact that the boxing statue that they have is of some fictitious nothing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they had 2 world champions out of Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
2 heavy, like Sonny Liston, Joe Frazier.
Yeah.
There's nothing of them. So when Ali, who was, like Mike was saying, an 8-1 underdog, went up and beat the unbeatable, it completely, he shook up the world.
He sure did.
He shook up the world.
Sure did. I mean, who else too? It would rhyme. You have actually a precise rhyme. And so when he would drop a person, what round, how he would do it. The first 10 odd fights he's doing that, and would be precise on every single prediction. Who else does that, right? I've never seen or heard of that.
But it's so ironic that we're talking about the Tyson Fury and then it comes up with Ali, but kind of the trilogy and not that they had same styles because Tyson Fury is just an awkward guy and he's just made it work for him, right? But he's so entertaining. He's got that Ali like about him, goes out,
quality to him.
Sings to Bob Arum and for his 90th birthday, and he's a likable guy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And him against Wilder were kind of that, almost the good against the bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it was like that.
Fights need.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the
people
wrestling
need
kind
cheer
of
for.
storyline.
People need someone to boo against.
That's right. Very true.
People need someone to love to hate.
That's right.
It's all money.
That's the truth.
all about money in it, exactly. How about you, Steve? Was your best fight of the year?
My best fight of the year? I don't even know. Probably exactly the
Because
one
there were
that
some good ones this year.
talking about. It's I remember watching that. I was like, yeah, that was a good one. For like a heavyweight fight, right?
Yeah.
And in the pandemic too, right? So yeah, so yeah, it was probably one of the better ones. So
Actually, I really
You
enjoyed the
weren't
George.
going to say Mayweather versus Paul?
no,
What?
those,
Really? Really?
those were crazy. Those fights were all
That was not
crazy.
your favorite fight of all time, really? Okay.
No, I just didn't want to support that kind
Well,
of.
actually, I was actually really shocked and surprised by the George Kambosos Jr. With his big upset
Yeah.
against Teofimo Lopez. I mean, no one's seen that one coming. So that was
Yeah,
like
that
my
one,
kind of
one too. That was probably the biggest upset. I
It
think.
was, yeah.
There was a bigger
That-
upset
that was-
last year.
That was my fight of the year.
Yeah, is that right? Eh?
That was my fight of the year.
That's my fight of the year too. With
Like
Tyson Fury number 2 on my list, but that's my number 1 is definitely.
Yeah, and it could be
Kambosos.
both. Kambosos
Lopez.
beating Lomachenko and then coming back and losing, right? Like nobody
Yeah.
thought that would happen. Like he had the fight of his life. It's
Yeah.
almost like when he fought Lomachenko, this is how I'm going to beat him. This is the style I'm going to
Yeah.
beat him. Then when he goes in against the Australian guy, he's just like, okay, I'm going to fight the same style. Well, that style's not going to work against this guy. It's
Correct.
totally different styles.
Exactly.
Against Lomachenko, I think he got a gift. Not that he was robbed; he won the fight.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that he got a gift in the sense that all the background story for that fight, Lomachenko was actually injured.
He was injured. That's correct.
He was injured going into the ring. Lomachenko's father wanted to pull the plug on the fight, postpone it. He said no. In the event that he threatened that in the event that they postponed the fight, he would retire. So they let him go. But then I don't know what he was thinking because the first 6 rounds, I think he threw 40 punches.
Yeah,
in
it's really
6
low.
rounds.
Yeah.
So how did he think that you were going to win with that strategy? And he genuinely, when he walked out of the ring and he heard the decision, he was obviously distraught, but he said he's going to have to look at the tapes to see exactly how he lost. I don't know how he could have thought he won.
Yeah, agreed.
With nothing in the first 6 rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. The scales rounds away
You
to
always
him.
think you're winning, right? You always think you're winning. You're doing good. So
You can, but literally when you're not doing
I
anything.
think you thought he did enough, right?
He did enough, in the first couple rounds.
So,
because
he was thinking.
Come 7th round, he threw more punches in that round than he did in the 6 rounds prior combined.
Yeah, that's right.
Multiples.
You're right. Yeah.
And that's how he
late
should
in the fight. Yeah.
But it just looked like Kambosos, he had a plan against Lomachenko where he didn't when he was fighting the Aussie, right? And you can almost say the same with Usyk and Anthony Joshua. Usyk had the plan. He was almost fighting like a Lomachenko. You know what I mean? And Anthony Joshua didn't know how to fight him.
Yeah.
He had no idea.
Exactly.
He had no game plan.
Yeah.
You know,
they have a game plan and they have a backup plan too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm thinking. Those guys have a plan, but if that doesn't work, they always have a backup plan.
At least you should. Like, it's that is what constitutes to me an amazing fighter, like a great fighter, is that ability to go into a contest with a plan, have the plan fail, and partway through the contest, switch gears.
That's right.
And come back. I don't speak his praise often, but Lennox Lewis versus Shannon Briggs. First 2 rounds, I said that I think that before the fight, I predicted that Lennox was going to stop Shannon in 3 rounds. And technically he did. Because the first 2 rounds, Lennox didn't show up. And Shannon caught him and rocked him around and bashed him around, almost knocking him down twice. Had him in trouble twice in the first 2 rounds. And then Lennox switched gears. Changed his game plan.
There,
All he tried to do was, like, he wanted to be first and threw, like, pity-pat punches, but, like, it was like sand in the eyes. And I thought it was brilliant. He just kept touching him, boom, touching him,
keep off balance.
touching him, boom. And overwhelmed him. And all of a sudden, 4th and 5th round, Shannon's touching canvas. I thought it was brilliant.
That is
I thought it was a brilliant chess game.
Yeah. Let's
Just
go
like-
Lennox Lewis, eh?
Was Emmanuel Stewart with him at that time?
I believe he was, wasn't he? I think he was.
I don't know.
Because that that would make
No, he was.
No?
Wait, Emmanuel Stewart came on after Oliver McCall because Emmanuel Stewart was in Oliver McCall's corner when he beat him.
That's right. Yeah.
So I don't think no because Shannon Briggs, Lennox wasn't fighting. That wasn't for a world title fight. So it was before Emmanuel Stewart.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, once Lennox and Emmanuel were together, Lennox stayed undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, great coach, great fighter.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit. Yeah, it's great pair up. Great team up back
Until
then.
rock him.
But there was a lot of good fights this year, like the Lopez and Campos, obviously, and Lopez and Lomachenko. And I would like to see maybe a Lomachenko Lopez again rematch.
Me
Yeah,
too.
that's
yeah.
what I want to see again.
I think a lot of people like to see that. And,
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't know what Lopez's
Yeah, I hear
state
you.
is in right now, but I think he wants obviously Lomachenko wants to fight Kambosos, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think it would be great. But there's a lot of great matches despite the lockdowns and stuff that we were in this year. A lot of good matches, and so there's a lot of good promoters out there, good matchups there.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Mike. I would love to see a Lopez agast Lomachenko too, if it could happen. But yeah, chances of that happening.
And then the
very
winner,
slim,
and then the
but-
winner could fight Kambosos in Australia. And
Yeah, that
huge,
makes
but
sense.
I think there's other plans for Kambosos. I'm not sure.
It looks that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing that the last little while. So probably other plans in place for Kambosos moving forward, most likely. Most likely. Well, hey, moving on to what was the biggest upset of the year? We kind of touched on that a little bit earlier. But what was your big upset of 2021 in boxing? What was your big upset, guys?
Lomachenko.
Lomachenko, yeah.
Lomachenko has to be
That
the
was an
biggest
upset.
You just
Yeah, those
Number
two,
one?
Lomachenko and then Kambosos beating Lopez.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Lopez,
think
yeah.
nobody
top
thought,
right
right?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
I was thinking, never even heard of Kambosos, right? Coming from Australia, and I was thinking, oh, come on, give me a break. He's moving up in weight, not a chance. He's, and he
Yeah.
came out and shocked him right in the first round. It's like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
he had
Who
a
is
game
this
plan
guy?
though,
Yeah, so true, right?
where Lopez didn't.
So true. Yeah, I mean, no one's
Yeah.
seen him coming, so that was.
And
that
then
was-
Osik, I think was an upset, against
yeah,
Joshua.
what's a good one? Yeah,
Joshua.
but I don't know. You guys,
I thought Joshua would have came out a lot differently, right? But Osik, you just see him; he's so focused. Comes in and
Yeah.
he's just like,
Yeah,
and his with his and then you got Joshua come with his entourage, his music. It took like 30 minutes to get into the ring, and he's like looking at everyone, shaking people's hands. I'm like, is this guy focused? I don't know. Well, we found out.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, actually,
It'll
going.
be interesting to see what happens there if they have a rematch.
Yeah,
Or I don't even know. I haven't heard anything if if that rematch clause if he's taking that with the Osik, or if
there's a rumor
know.
about that to happen spring of this year. That's a rumor right now. Nothing confirmed. But it'd be very good to see. But I thought, with you guys, but I did think Usyk was going to actually beat Joshua. I actually didn't think that he was going to be a win for Usyk, because just watching him over the years, like, this guy's really good. He's not quite there yet at that point in time, but you can see he's going to be there because he's like that good, that solid, that tough.
He's
Yeah.
My thing. I take nothing away from him. I think he's absolutely sensational. The only thing with him is that he doesn't have cracking power when he gets to the big ones. So when it comes to deterring or like, he was precise with Joshua.
Yeah.
He, like, that counter left off of Joshua's like ever so telegraph jab, smashed Joshua's nose, and that's what set the pace. Like, Joshua at 6'6" was all of a sudden slipping. Tell me, just slip against a guy who's 6'3". I'm just like, what are you thinking? He has absolutely no concept of what he's doing.
Right.
Because gorillas don't slip when you're dealing with crickets. We just don't. You put
You don't
your hand
have
on
to.
his
You're right,
forehead
you don't
and
have
you keep him away from you. But I thought that if Fury is to go off and meet up with Usyk and apply the exact same strategy as he used against Deontay, I can't see Usyk winning. Not because Fury's such an amazing boxer, because he's not. But just to lay on him and maul him and whatnot in the pro game,
Oh,
he is
yeah.
going to get tired.
Oh, for sure he will.
And he doesn't have that kind of strength. He doesn't have the cracking power to deter him from coming in either.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm confident that some semblance of that will show in the Usyk Joshua 2 rematch. Joshua will try to maul him. He has to. Or he's done. Much like Deontay. Mind you, Deontay could fight in the bridge division now.
Right, yeah. That's right.
But I still think everybody wants to see the Joshua and Fury.
Yeah,
100%.
In Wembley Stadium, sellout.
UK does.
There's more money. There's more attention to that than Usyk or Usyk going down the.
I agree, Mike.
It's going to be. I don't know if they've called the second fight or if that's been decided, but hopefully it will, and hopefully I would like to see Joshua win just so we finally get to see that fight. Joshua and Fury and being in Wembley would be amazing and huge, and
that'd be huge.
One of the biggest fights of all time, right?
Yeah,
agreed.
Were they both promised a payday of 100 billion pounds, 100 million pounds?
Wow,
I didn't hear the figures being mentioned, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised by that. It would be so immense. It'd be such an immense event. Yeah.
Well, who knows? Paul brothers might come out with 150 presidential champion and get more money.
Mike,
or Paul against Mike Tyson.
To fight one
that's what they're saying too, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Ray.
Tell me you wouldn't come out of retirement just to fight for one of the Paul brothers.
Oh, I say a novice Ontario provincial champion could beat either Paul brothers.
I agree.
Now Eddie Hearn's talking about one of the Paul brothers fighting McGregor on the Katie Taylor card,
right?
Being from Ireland, and McGregor's 160, soaking wet, and he's going to fight a guy like Paul 190.
What does boxing come to?
It's entertainment now. That's all.
It is entertainment. But unfortunately, If it's purist, it's kind of hurts the heart.
it is. I'll accept that it's entertainment, but it's not for the betterment of boxing per se. Because it doesn't
not at all.
It's not. You're right.
It's brutal.
You're right.
Brutal.
Like, why don't they go have a challenge in badminton?
Yeah. But if you go out on the street
to the death
for 10 people that don't know anything about boxing, and you say, "Who's Terrence Crawford?" Maybe
they wouldn't know.
They know.
They wouldn't know.
They'll say, "Who's Logan Paul?" 8 out of the 10 would know who Logan Paul is.
They would know him.
Yeah. I agree.
Can you imagine if they had TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and Facebook back when Ali was fighting?
Oh, well, that's why guys like Roy Jones and Mike Tyson are fighting now. They're making that money.
Yeah.
And they are fortunate enough to have this platform where you can have this make-believe boxing scenario, and people are paying.
They're paying huge for it. Yeah,
I'm all for it. Like, they more than deserve it. But people are. I'm still surprised.
Yeah,
but the people would rather see Logan Paul fight than Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones. That's the problem.
Yeah, you're right. It's true. Yeah, that's true. The Jake Paul thing is kind of overwhelming in that.
And then they're coming up. You saw Victor Belfort against Evander Holyfield, and it's disheartening watching that, man. It's brutal. They offer Evander Holyfield some money, and he looks like he's borderline dementia or something when he walked in the ring. It's sad, and until someone eventually gets seriously hurt, we're going to keep doing this.
You're right,
and it will happen eventually.
Yeah, right.
Get hurt.
As we know, you can't play
celebrity boxing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can't play boxing. You're absolutely right, Mike, about that. Absolutely.
And the funny is they'll have the main event, like a Logan Paul, the main event, and they'll have boxers, legitimate boxers. They're having Chad Dawson is supposed to be fighting Victor Belfort now, but they'll have legitimate good fighters like Jean Pascal or something like that fighting on the undercard, and nobody shows up for the undercard, but they'll show up for the Logan Paul main event.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
Again, this is not
mind-boggling.
It's mind-boggling, is right. It is mind-boggling.
All about the money.
It's not for the betterment of the sport. The sport is not evolving because the general public is not being educated as to what makes boxing sweet by this display of nonsense.
Yeah.
Especially when you get guys like Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence,
Precisely.
Pound for pound, the best boxers, where they should be kind of boxing each other, but there's no interest in it. Nobody wants to see it. If you're not a boxing fan, you do not want to see it.
No.
You don't even know who they are if you're not a boxing fan.
Yeah,
Crawford
you're right. You're right.
isn't being offered what Logan Paul is getting offered.
Yeah.
Wrap your head around that.
Isn't that crazy, eh?
Wrap your head around that.
Yeah,
Do
no
the same
credentials in
sport.
boxing. They make massive paydays. It really is quite crazy.
Something's wrong
Crazy,
here.
but very true. Very true.
So and if you're a promoter and you have to offer these guys, like, why would you give the money to when you're not going to make it back, right? And I know that, I think Terrence Crawford has something with Bob Arum going on right now that,
Yeah, it's a
whatever,
lawsuit
but
there,
I just say, and I don't know exactly what's going on, but as a promoter, like, why would I give you this amount of money when I can give this amount of money to somebody else and have, a Logan Paul or somebody that, it's ridiculous.
It is. It is. Yeah,
Make
very true.
lots of money.
What's the thing about the Crawford case? That's actually more about because Crawford has a $10 million lawsuit against Bob Arum right now, and that's true. Like, that's based upon really comes down to Bob Arum just doesn't think that Crawford's marketable enough. That's really how it comes down to. He's just kind of writing it all off, and wants to find a better matchup. Where's more views, and there's gonna be more pay-per-view money coming in because he's seen.
Who has more TikTok views, and that's what's come down to it. Unfortunately,
Correct.
That's what it's all about. That's that people are buying the pay-per-view because of that. Where Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence would probably be
fantastic
one of the
matchup.
best fights of all time.
Absolutely,
it's got that Leonard Hagler type thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But there's no interest other than us on here. You know what I mean? And the fighters are like, these guys are great, man. These guys are great fighters.
So true, though. So true.
The guys who they want to see are the Tyson Furies who are entertaining and the Canelo Alvarez's, right? That got that backing and the following. And it's almost like you need a WWE guy behind every professional fighter because everyone needs a gimmick now. There's the Floyd Mayweather's, like, man, like Money Mayweather, right? People hated him, people loved him. Naseem Ahmed, people hated him, but people loved him. And he was, Muhammad Ali was the best, obviously.
Yeah,
Sugar Ray Leonard.
They wanted to see him.
I'm sorry?
They hated him, but they wanted to see him.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
They wanted to see him lose.
Yeah,
they paid to watch him lose. Exactly. Yeah.
And so you need someone like that as a Terrence Crawford. Okay, this is our gimmick. This is what we're going to do. You know what I mean? Like Mike Tyson, people wanted to because of knockout power. And then at the end, people are just watching to see what kind of interview he was going to do after the fight. Yeah. Like who showed him what he was going to do. You know what I mean?
What Mike's going to show up.
Very unpredictable. But you need that good against bad guy wrestling
mentality
type thing in boxing. You can't have two guys that you like fighting each other anymore, right? It's like, so you need a Manny Pacquiao against a Floyd Mayweather, right? The guy that you like, and you always need a bad boy in boxing. You need
a guy and a good guy.
Yep.
So true. Gotta sell his tickets. Gotta sell his pay-per-views.
Get for those views. Like Duran against Leonard. My God, that was like Panama versus United States.
Yeah.
Panama Canal, what they were gonna do, taking it over, and like Duran calling I don't know what he called Leonard's wife, but it wasn't very nice, and just to try to get him off his edge, and he did in Montreal,
right.
And then the return match wasn't so good.
That's
but
right.
It's that typical type thing that you need.
But that sells.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like Ali Foreman, Ali Frazier, Ali anybody, because he made the fights, right? He was the guy that trash talked everyone, grabs the girl out, snapping his head. This is what I'm going to do you, making the rhymes.
It's really Manila fight,
And people hated Ali. And like I said, they hated Ali, right? When we dodged the war and that. But, man, he's after what he did and after he retired, and he was everybody knows who Muhammad Ali is.
Yeah.
The most recognized name in the world.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
If you went out and said, hey, who's the champion, the world light heavyweight champion, no one would even know.
They would have a clue.
No.
Yeah. You see Muhammad Ali. Oh, I know him.
Yeah, he hasn't fought in 40 years. It was 40 years ago that he fought.
Yeah, so you're right. Good point.
And what he stood for, which was even more important, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was awesome. you know,
It
won the
was.
gold medal, and you know the way he was treated, and it was great. Like, and especially these days, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he would be even more and more and more glorified than, you know, and he still is, obviously, but
he really is. This is such a great human being in so many ways, right? That we did for all of us as far as inspiration and
he was
pushing
ahead of his
boundaries.
time, that's for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine if he was around in the days of social media? Oh, oh my God.
It'd be too much Ali. Too much Ali.
Yeah.
For us.
God.
Oh,
We
yeah.
would really hate him.
Oh,
But
We love him, but oh my God, so much. Yeah.
But people emulate him from boxing and from UFC and everything. They now they have the, you know, you look at every UFC fight now, they go to weigh in and they're smashing each other every single fight because you need that, right?
intimidation and
You're right.
Stir it up,
Stirring
whatever
it up.
we can do.
Mix it all up. Yeah, exactly.
Get more views.
Exactly. It's all about the views. Exactly.
all about the views.
Got that, kids?
Well, hopefully we get a few here.
Yeah. Well, boys, we're actually out of time already. So I want to thank, of course, Mike. I want to thank Steve, Big Ray. Thanks for guys joining me here on Sunday afternoon and take some time out to join us here. And hey, guys, I love you guys. It's good to see you again. And
All right, go Bills, go.
Again real soon. All right, guys, take care. All the best. Remember, folks, Zingo TV, check it out. Watch it, hear it, read it, download it, live it. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, guys. And we'll see you all real soon. Take care.
Take care.
All the best.
see ya.